So I've always wanted to try the saturation diver from Orient. It's been on my list, and it wasn't until I bought this Triton a couple months ago and just was thoroughly impressed by this awesome, affordable automatic diver that I thought, you know what, I want to see the very best that Orient has to offer from their dive or their sports segment. I want to try the OS 300. So I went out, I purchased this pre-owned version. You'll notice that it is the older generation, so it has the older style bracelet. It has the ceramic coated, steel bezel, and it has the older style handset with the syringe tip on the hour hand. So a little bit different from the current iteration, which I'll drop a picture in here, but essentially it's the same watch. It's got the same movement. It's got the same weight and dimension, all that. It's just a couple visual and material differences, but I've been blown away by this OS 300. It really kind of has made me rethink my love of Japanese watches in my collection. Every time I'm reaching for a dive watch, I'm not reaching for the Triton. I'm not reaching for the Marinemaster. I'm putting this bad boy on the wrist and just thoroughly loving every minute of it. I'm connecting with this watch like I haven't done with any other watch in the past. It's kind of crazy. I thought this would be a watch that I would just buy, I'd review, I'd enjoy it, I'd sell, but that's turning out not to be the case. I'm really, really loving this watch for a number of reasons. I mean, obviously, this is not for everybody. It's a big, bold watch. You either got to have large wrists or a love of large tank-like watches to be able to enjoy this thing and get the fullest out of your experience, because this is a beast. It's big and it's heavy, and you feel the weight of the stainless steel on your wrist. Almost weighs your arm down as you're wearing it. It's so overbuilt, and it's got just amazing wrist presence. I think Jeff McMahon said that this watch has the best wrist presence of any watch that he's had, and I gotta say I agree with him. I love the way this sits. I love the bold, original design. I like actually the quirky things about it. The date at the 9 o'clock position, the power reserve indicator up there at the 1 o'clock position, the big, bold, engraved indexing on the bezel, the crown at the true 4 o'clock position as opposed to, Seiko, which is just off of the 4 o'clock. It's original. It's cool. It's a beast, and it feels awesome on my 7.25 inch wrists. So I like everything about it. I like the fit and the finish. I love the luminescence. This thing it's like a torch. I'd say it's on par with the Seiko Marinemaster. It's really, really potent and long lasting. There's a few other things that I just think are really cool. We've got a sapphire crystal here with AR coating. It's 5 millimeters thick, so you get some nice depth to the dial. From the side, it actually doesn't look that thick. And what's really cool, if you get it in the right light, the right sunlight, you can see a little bit of glint on the chamfered edges, and you get a little bit of a prism rainbow effect going on. I think that's beautiful. The movement in here is the 40 N5A automatic in-house movement from Orient, 22 joules, 40-hour power reserve. This one, though, let me just say that the Triton has the same movement here, but the saturation diver has nicer winding. It's a little bit more accurate. This thing is running at plus 4 seconds a day for me, which I think is awesome. And the rotor in here is actually heavier and more intense than the standard rotor that you'd find in the Triton. Orient wanted to make absolutely sure that this watch wound at depth as you were moving your arm around, in the water, which I think is just really cool. So great attention to detail, great wrist presence, great tech. It's a big beast. Yes, it's not for everybody. Absolutely, I recognize that. But I'm really loving this watch. I'm really connecting with it. And it's kind of made me think, do I need other watches? Do I need a Marinemaster? Do I need a Triton when I have the OS 300? That's a question. That's a question that I'm trying to figure out. So let me show you these two side by side. I will say, yes, the Marinemaster, it's the nicer watch. You have the nicer movement. The finishing is a little bit nicer. Beautiful dimensional hands, silver date disc. But in some ways, the OS 300 just kind of puts it to shame. And that's a bold statement. But we have a sapphire crystal, ceramic coated bezel, which the Marinemaster will not have. Like I said, it has the same ratcheting, clasp, extension. These are sister companies, really. They fall under the same ownership, so they can share some of those features without copyright or those types of issues. But the saturation diver will have a screw down case back, which is nice for servicing, accessing the movement. And it's just, I don't know, you look and you say, okay, $2,000 for Marinemaster or $1,000 for an OS 300 that in many ways is, I think, superior to the Marinemaster. Inferior in other ways, but it's the value proposition question that everybody has to answer for themselves. So I'm going through that process right now, and don't be surprised if these watches get axed and I just keep this one because I'm connecting with it that much. It's kind of crazy. So anyways, guys, let me know if you have any questions. I appreciate you guys taking the time to watch. Let me know what you think, and I'll catch you in the next video. Cheers.